April 1943, a total of 12 Focke-Wulf FW-190 fighter bombers had joined a large group of returning RAF bombers, masking their approach to the Essex coast of England. It was the night of the 16th of April 1943, and though the Blitz was long since over, the Germans still mounted sporadic raids on Britain, sometimes using FW-190 single-seat fighters painted black to drop a few bombs and scoot back to Europe. The German aircraft successfully arrived over their targets and bombed as instructed. They didn't do much damage and were soon pounced on by British night fighters. A confusing nighttime battle began to develop, and the FW-190s began to break away and head for home, conscious of their dwindling fuel stocks. But the fighting had taken a toll on navigation, and many of the German pilots had become lost. 4 German aircraft headed out from South Essex over the Thames estuary into Kent, the pilots thinking that they had actually crossed the English Channel and were now over German-occupied France. Searching for somewhere to land, the pilots spotted RAF West Malling, 5 miles from Maidstone in Kent, home of 2-9 Squadron flying Bristol Beaufighters. The German pilots thought West Malling was a Luftwaffe base. At West Malling that night, the watch officer was Flight Lieutenant Barry. The first intimation that something was amiss was a loud crash near the base. One of the German pilots, Oberleutnant Kurt Klahn, had started to make his approach to West Malling when his 190 had run out of fuel. Klahn had bailed out, but was too low and his parachute did not open before he hit trees in a private garden and was killed. His plane smashed into a nearby orchard, the sound alerting Flight Lieutenant Barry and the other RAF men at the airfield. A short time later, airfield personnel heard the sound of a single-engine plane overhead. It circled the field twice, then landed and taxied towards the hangars. The all-black fighter rolled right up to the control block, the floodlights revealing the Focke-Wulf FW-190. The pilot, Feldwebel Otto Bechtold, drew back his canopy and started yelling for ground crew. The dumbfounded RAF mechanics stood staring at the German fighter and shouted back, but neither Bechtold nor the British guys could actually hear each other because of the noise of the engine. At this point, a Beaverette armoured car from the airfield security force raced over. Spotting the faint outline of black crosses beneath the hastily applied lamp black on the aircraft's fuselage, Aircraftman Sherlock jumped from the armoured car and ran to the plane. Sherlock wrenched the 190's rudder right over, preventing the pilot from making a run for it. Feldwebel Bechtold clambered from the cockpit, but realizing suddenly where he was, he raised his arms and surrendered. As Flight Lieutenant Barry was on the telephone reporting the capture of a pristine, undamaged 190, he was alerted to the noise of another aircraft on final approach. Running outside, Barry and the other RAF personnel watched in amazement as another Focke-Wulf 190 touched down. Lieutenant Fritz Setzer was very short of fuel, and his aircraft may have sustained flak damage during the raid. Just as Setzer touched down, he spotted the unfamiliar shape of the Beaverette armoured car racing out to try and cut him off. Setzer realized his mistake and quickly turned his aircraft round and opened up his throttles in an attempt to get airborne, but he hadn't reckoned on Aircraftman Sherlock and his Vickers K machine guns. From a range of 15 to 20 yards, Sherlock riddled the FW-190. A small fire bloomed from behind the cockpit, but Setzer continued down the runway. Sherlock gave him a second burst. The 190 burst fully into flames and stopped. Setzer, whose flight suit was on fire, fell from the cockpit. He staggered towards the British armoured car, Sherlock climbing down. The two men struggled briefly before Setzer, still on fire, broke free and tried to run off. He was stopped by the station commander, Wing Commander Peter Townsend, who with Sherlock managed to extinguish the burning German and take him prisoner. But the night's bag of Focke-Wulf 190s was not quite full. Incredibly, another German plane began its descent into West Malling. Oberfeldwebel Otto Schulz was seriously injured and his 190 wrecked when he undershot the runway and crashed. As for the mint-condition 190, delivered courtesy of Feldwebel Bechtold, it was repainted in RAF colours and extensively test-flown by the enemy aircraft flight, revealing valuable data on the new German type. Subscribe for more, share, and also support my work at Patreon or PayPal. Many thanks.